Good morning, children. This video is for class 10th. So we'll start with the Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 2. Okay. So before giving you the introduction of the scene, let me brief you the previous scenes. Antonio was the rich merchant of Venice. He was the best friend of Bassanio. Now Bassanio wants some money to go to Belmont because Bassanio had inherited a small money from his father upon the death of his father, but he had soon squandered that money because he was a spendthrift. He lived beyond his slender means. So he was compelled to borrow money from Antonio. So he needs money so that he can go to Belmont to try his luck and can win Portia. But at that time, Antonio did not have any ready cash. So he advised Bassanio to raise the loan from a money lender on the basis of his security. Now it's very ironical that Bassanio finds Shylock and asks him to lend the sum of 3,000 ducats, for which loan Antonio would be the guarantor. Now, as we know that Shylock hates Antonio because of many reasons, and he wanted to take his revenge. But as he was a second class citizen, he cannot do anything directly, so he took it as an opportunity to take his revenge on Antonio. He was ready to give the money, but he made Antonio sign a bond that if he fails to repay the loan within the period of 3 months, he will forfeit a pound of his flesh to Shylock. Bassanio did not want Antonio to sign that bond, but Antonio was confident that his ships would come back, so he signed the bond. Now Bassanio, he left for Belmont. Here in Venice, unfortunately, Antonio's ships were wrecked. He became bankrupt. Now, he was in tough situation. He was behind the bars. Bassanio is unknown to all this thing because he was there in Belmont with Portia. Now, Act 3, Scene 2. It is the second longest scene. It was consisted of 332 lines. Now, what is there in the scene? Let's see it sequence wise. First, there's a conversation of Portia and Bassanio before Bassanio chose the casket. Children, if you remember, as I have told you in Act 1, Scene 2, that many suitors were there. Suitors from all over the world have came to Belmont to try their luck. When they listened to the condition, few of them decided to go without making their choice because the conditions were very harsh. It was written that whosoever will choose the wrong casket will not marry again. So few of those suitors they left, but two suitors, the Prince of Morocco and the Prince of Aragon, they made their choice and they both lost. The Prince of Morocco, he chose the golden casket, and the Prince of Aragon chose the silver casket. Now, Portia is delighted at the arrival of Bassanio, and she wants to prevent him from making his choice from the casket so that he can spend some more time with her. Now, she is afraid that he might choose wrongly and that would mean his instant departure, according to the oath that all the suitors have had to take before making their choice. So that's why she wanted to she wanted Bassanio to delay his choice so that he can spend some more time with her. So that is there in our first part, the conversation of Portia and Bassanio before Bassanio chose the casket. Now the next phase started. Portia is afraid, but Bassanio thinks differently in that manner. He wishes to make his choice immediately. He believes that the longer he waits to make his choice, the harder it will be for him to part from Portia should he fail in his choice. That's why he wanted to make his choice. Accordingly, he goes to make the choice, and Portia orders her musician to play. This is what our second part consists of, the phase when Bassanio go to choose the casket and music is played. Right? Then come a third part. This is the climax of the casket story. Bassanio chose the right casket and win Portia. Like the other two suitors, Bassanio inspected the caskets and read the inscriptions on the casket, and finally he decided to choose the leaden casket. He unlocked the leaden casket and find Portia's portrait in that. He won Portia. Clear? Portia was very happy, even Bassanio was very happy. Their happiness is complete now. Now Gratiano and Nerissa have also become lovers, and they seek the permission of their master and mistress to get married. They all are in the seventh heaven at that moment. Now, at this point, the dramatist introduced the dramatic anticlimax. That is a fourth part of this play, of the scene. When they were enjoying, Bassanio, Portia, Nerissa, Gratiano, when they all were enjoying their victory, the bad news arrives. Celerio, Lorenzo, Jessica, they arrived on the scene with the bad news of Antonio's downfall, who is now in jail. Celerio has brought a letter written by Antonio. He gave it to Bassanio. While Bassanio was reading that letter, the color of his face changed. Portia noticed the suffering on Bassanio's face, and she asked him to tell her the content of the letter. Bassanio read the letter, tell Portia everything. Upon learning of this tough situation of Antonio, Portia advises that their marriage ceremony should take place at once so that Bassanio can legally be the owner of her property. Then he should go to Venice to save his friend. So children, this is there in Act 3, Scene 2. Tomorrow we will start with the text. So kindly go through this introduction carefully. Okay, tomorrow we will go with the text. We will go with the first part, the conversation of Portia and Bassanio before Bassanio chose the casket, from line number 1 to 41. So that's all for today. Thank you.